cocktail, do you?
And thank you for coming on the live show.
Great to be here. Great to be here. And thanks for having me.
Well, the channel is called Tinglish.
Oh, damn it, man.
And do your push-ups now, man.
I love it. Yes.
Have a drink there, man. It's not like you're on camera or anything.
So great.
What's next? I should keep it secret, right?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Saturday Live Show. Another exciting week. I always get pumped for my guests that come back on the show. Today we have Beauty in the East joining us today. So excited to have him back because I feel like our conversation we had on the first round, we kind of cut it short. I was always big on kind of cutting the interview short at about 30 minutes, then kind of going on to other talk. But I feel like we could have talked to him about so much more. So Beauty in the East and I had a great conversation the other day, and we have a lot of good things to talk about today. And we're taking things up a level. So you guys might notice I got a new mic here. So let me know how things are sounding. What precipitated the new mic this week was a new computer. I finally did it, guys. I got the new MacBook Pro with the M1 chip. I'm so stoked. I was hamstrung for so long with what I could do with these live shows because my computer just couldn't handle doing anything like an external mic or anything like this. So I'm excited to have the new computer. I actually got some new external hard drives as well. I got this, what they call a LaCie hard drive. It's an HDD hard drive that'll hold 5 terabytes of info. And I already got this smaller one. Look how small this thing is. This holds 1 terabyte. This is an SSD drive. So 2 of these drives together hold I was going to say shit ton, but I didn't want to swear, but I'll say it anyways, a shit ton of information. So the great thing about that, having external hard drives, is you're not anchored to your computer. So, you know, when the new MacBook Pro M1X comes out, maybe in June or July, maybe I could flip the one that I currently have to a newer version. So I'm just excited to have the new computer, new mic going on today. I actually ordered a boom arm, is what they call it. One of those arms where you can kind of pull the mic off to the side and adjust it. It's on the way, but it's a little delayed via Amazon. Darn it. I was hoping to have it for the live show today. So this is the one and only times you'll see the mic in front of me. I guess next week it'll be kind of off to the side, more professional looking. But let me know what you think of the audio. It's definitely good. I like it. A lot of adjustments. Actually, Beauty in the East helped me kind of adjust the mic on our practice session the other day. So he was great. He's got a kick-ass mic that he sometimes uses. Lights up red. It's got a lot of features. Pretty cool, man. Kind of had me regretting this one. I should have got one with like the red color. That would have been pretty cool. So let me stop talking. Let me welcome a bunch of people to the chat today. One thing I didn't address real quick, I was kind of getting to how we're going to kind of up-level the guest today. So we have some new video clips that we're going to use for Beauty in the East. We're all about profiling and promoting the channels that come on to my live show. And Beauty in the East and I were kind of talking about some ways to do that. So we're kind of in cahoots with this today. So hopefully we're kind of getting ready to up-level the live show with some cool little video clips to help promote his channel. So I'm excited to welcome him in a couple minutes. I see him down in the green room. He's ready to go, but I want to welcome in everyone here. Let's see. We got Rusty Spygoat in the chat today. Robert Mack in Asia. Hello. Good morning, Richard. How are you doing today, sir? Tommy J. Nice to have you as always. Tommy J is saying hello to Mac. There we go. Got the legend in here again. Daystate Fox. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all. Absolutely. I find that this live show time works best for most time zones with the exception of Australia. So if I have any Aussies in the live show live today, hats off to you because I think it's 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, depending on which part of Australia you're in. So welcome. And if you're catching it on the replay, thanks for watching it. Tommy Jason, hello, Daystate Fox. Daystate Fox saying back to Tommy J. And Mango Sticky Rice, my San Francisco brother. So excited to kind of have a meetup with him at some point when things get back to regular here in San Francisco. But yeah, it's nice to have someone local here. Let's see, everyone else saying hello to everyone. That's great. Nice little community here, guys. Let me go down here. And then just keep in mind, so I've been getting a couple of comments on the, let me get rid of this comment here. I've been getting a lot of comments around people telling me, you don't address all the comments on the live show. You know, I post comments, you don't address them. So I do want to kind of address that a little bit because I want to be totally transparent. So I run through the StreamYard application for the live show. The comments do come in off to the side of my screen here, but they tend to be a little delayed. And I've noticed this up to 5 minutes. So just know that I'm going to try to make a new focus on that, make it a priority to make sure I'm getting all the comments. It is sometimes tough. I'll be talking with the guests. I get sidetracked. I try to, pay 100% attention to the guest. The moderators are very good about alerting me to comments that I should address. Like, oh, this is a great question. Please check this out. So I know Tommy J, Daystate Fox, they do a great job of that. Robert McInasia, they'll actually ping me on Messenger, like, don't forget to address this comment, this kind of thing. But just so you know, the comments tend to be delayed sometimes in the StreamYard, up to 5 minutes. So what I do to kind of combat that is I have two computers going. I have one in front of me that has the StreamYard. I have one off to the side that has the YouTube live stream. So I can see the comments more in real time. So I'll try to do a better job of that. It's tough juggling all these different things, but I'll try to do a better job of that in the future here, guys. Let's see, Daystate Fox, everyone kind of got Chocolate Man in Thailand. Hello, sir. How you doing? Okay, what will Richard be doing when he comes on camera? Yeah, I know we could have some great outtakes there, things I do before I come on camera. I'm usually doing my linguistics, trying to get all the frogs out of my throat, make sure I'm good to go, hydrated. And yeah. I almost said like I should make a video of me preparing for the live show because it is a little crazy. I think everything's dialed in, and then all of a sudden 10 minutes to go, I realize I forgot to do this or forgot to do that. So it would make for kind of a funny video. I thought about doing that, setting up the my camera to do a time lapse with maybe 1 hour to go, because I actually start getting ready for this 1 hour prior to the live show. Everything's going, setting up the green screen, the level, the laptop, everything like that. So not to bore anyone, but that's kind of what goes on there. Greeny Travel is saying, hola, everyone. How you doing, Greeny? How's things in Pattaya? I've been watching all your videos. Greeny's pumping out some serious content, man. I think his latest video today on his channel was around the best pizza in Pattaya. And to be honest with you, Greeny, I have not watched that one yet because it came out overnight. But I do want to check that out because you might have checked out a couple of pizza places that were probably on my radar going back to 2015. I don't know if these places are still open with the current situation, but we'll see. But great videos lately, Greeny. You're doing a great job, man. Channel's blowing up. I think last time I checked, it was at 2.3K subs. And remember, we just had Greeny on a couple weeks ago celebrating 1,000. So his channel is really growing quite well. Luis Cabo in the house. How are you doing, Luis? Good to see you. Always a pleasure to have you in my live show, man. Appreciate that. Chocolate Man saying somebody got a haircut. I know I did, man. I did get a haircut. I told my hairstylist, take it down short because like it's so difficult to get a haircut in San Francisco right now with all the lockdowns and stuff that we're going through. So I actually had to take mass transportation. It's about an hour trip over to my hairstylist, this covert location to get a haircut. And I just said, take it down short, man. So yeah, hopefully it's not looking too short, looking good. But yeah, a little shorter than I would like. And it's funny because I kind of was talking to her about some other stuff and I realized, wow, she is really taking it down short. But once they cut it, it's, you can't say anything. So I just kind of let it go. But yeah. Ron X saying, hello, everyone from California. Another California guy in the live show. We love our California guys. That's awesome. And I just lost my place. Excuse me, guys. Let me go back up here. Trying to address all the comments today, guys. Chocolate Man helping out, man. He's saying 22 in the room, but only 9 likes. We got 33 now. So let's make sure you hit the like button. That'd be appreciated. Yeah, Chocolate Man. I got the Pro with the M1. And it's good. Actually, I didn't pump it up with a lot of memory because I thought I might be flipping it in June or July for the new, what I have my eyes on really is the MacBook Pro 14-inch with the new design. They're going through a new design for the next release. So the 16 is a little big for traveling for me. As much as I love the extra screen real estate, I think the 14 will be perfect for me because they're saying that's no larger than the 13-inch current model, but they're going edge to edge with the screen. So I'm quite excited about that. But I needed something stat. My MacBook Air that I was using previously, you guys will laugh at that, was not holding up, and I couldn't do anything with it. Couldn't have an external mic, nothing like that. Zcon, nice to see you, man. Hi, Richard. Hi, everyone. Just made it here. Good. You missed the intro, man. Actually, I sent Zcon the intro yesterday. I always like his input. He's like, hey, change this, change that. Mr. Mitch saying hello to everyone. Nice to have you in the chat, man. Appreciate that. I know. So Chocolate Man is always saying, like, Mr. Mitch is always everywhere. And he's in every live show that I go to. I'm always surprised. Like, oh, he's in here too. He does a lot of moderator duties. Chocolate Man in Thailand saying, Richard Travel, you got one of the best live shows around. No worries at all. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Means a lot to me. And I'm all about unifying the community. As you see, I got the little, whoop, over here, Unity up in the upper right. So yeah, definitely all about unifying the community, man, promoting channels, this kind of thing. We got Teacher Thomas in the live show. Teacher Thomas was our guest last week. I love the outtake with him drinking the glass of wine. I had to put that in the intro because I thought it was so funny. So yeah, that was pretty good. I love putting those things together. Let's see here. I want to go ahead and go down, see what we got here. Oh, one thing I wanted to kind of bring to your guys' attention. Let me remove this comment so I can put other stuff up. And I don't know if you guys saw, so the exchange rate is back above 30. So it was at 29 the other day, I think last week. Now it's above 30. But interesting thing that's happening with the exchange rate that I'm hearing. I just read an article last night around the forecast for the USD to Thai baht exchange. They're saying that in May, it may dip down to 28. And then they're saying June or July, we could see 27. That would be horrible. And I feel like if there is tourism rebounding in Thailand at that time, people are going to think twice about that, especially those that have been to Thailand before. Maybe not so much for people that have never been there because they don't have anything to compare it to. But if you've been going to Thailand for 5 or 6 years or even 3 or 4 years, you're going to see 27, and that's going to be a little bit of freak out mode. That'll definitely make me think twice. I mean, what do you guys think? Let me know how important the exchange rate is for you. We always thought that 29 was like the no-fly zone. Boy, if it dips down to 29, I'm going to go somewhere else. But boy, if it goes to 27, there's not much value with that exchange rate anymore. So let me know what you think in the chat, if that's like a deal breaker for you or not. Just want to always thank the moderators in the live show today. I've got the world's best moderators. They're going to be gently removing comments that may be in violation of YouTube's terms and conditions. So don't take it personally, guys. If you do post a comment in the chat that happens to get removed, just go ahead and rephrase it, and we'll get to it. So they do a great job helping out so I can stay focused on the conversation. Great. Well, looks like we're coming up on about 15 minutes here, guys. I want to come back to some of these comments in the chat. Think up some great questions for Beauty in the East, though. But, I kind of alluded to earlier that, Beauty in the East and I, his name is Chris, we got together to kind of do things a little differently. So we're going to talk to him today about his channel. He's living in America right now. He's hoping to get back to Thailand. But I always thought that it might be a nice idea if we have a little promo for the channel before the guest comes on. So I thought what I did is, Beauty in the East was so nice to create a couple of videos. So I thought I would play this one as we bring Chris into the live show. Let me have you guys check this out.
Love you, baby.
Welcome, Chris. How are you?
Hello, sir. Good morning. You're so crispy today.
Yeah, it's funny. So after you and I talked a couple of days ago, I went back into my microphone settings and made some adjustments, but
right.
Sound okay. You're not echoing. I think we're good.
Good. Good to go, man.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm doing pretty good. It's cold. I miss the warmth of Thailand. I don't miss the humidity at all, though. I still don't. I know people say you adjust, and I adjusted somewhat the last time I was there. You do adjust, but it's still it's never good. The humidity is never good. Anybody that says, "Oh, I love the humidity over here," they're lying. They're lying to us, Richard.
Yeah, it's such a great point because I think when I first started going in 2015, those of people in the chat now that know about my travel experience know that my first year I went a lot. And it was the great thing about going frequently is it took me no time at all to adjust to the heat. I'd get off that airplane into the terminal. I know like, oh, here it is. I'm ready for it. Get outside. But when I would have a longer duration, like 6 months in between trips, it was brutal, man. It took me a couple of days to get used to the heat.
Yeah. It's something else, man. In Thailand, like I mean, it's usually like over 60% humidity there. I mean, that's sticky. That's sticky, and it's harder to breathe and everything. And with mask, it was even worse. Like I had to adjust the mask and the humidity the last time I was over there, and
not good.
It was awful. I did see a comment by Chocolate Man, and I got to say, I thank him for that, man. Like he's my favorite channel to watch right now, and I've talked to him a few times, and I'd like to see Chocolate Man on here on Richard's Travels.
Well, thanks for the word, man. We're trying to kind of sort out dates. Chocolate Man in Thailand, you're in my crosshairs, man. We're trying to get you on.
He's killing it as well.
Yeah, he's got a great channel. Well, I mean, we'll talk about that a little bit because I want to kind of compare his channel to yours a little bit because I feel like we have the same great foundation going. But
I feel like me and him similar on a personal level too. Like I want to hang out with him when I'm over there. But I would imagine, like I haven't talked to him about, but I'd imagine we like this a lot of the same music and everything. He's got a real similar personality to me, like laid back, cool. You know what I mean? Just that type of personality sets people that I kind of like revolve around. That's why I like his content so much.
So it's interesting because, you know, when you and I talked a couple of days ago, we talked about the whole video thing that we're going to be doing today, some of these short clips. And, you know, you sent those over to me. I got to tell you, I was blown away, man.
Yeah. That's
you're
something
like next
new I've
level,
started.
man.
Yeah, that's something new I've started is the promotional stuff because like me and one of my friends were talking. I've got a friend and both of us are into marketing. He also does some computer stuff. And we was saying that like my videos are at the point, like I'm putting enough work and passion into them that they're there. You know, I mean, I still feel like I can improve. I always feel like I can improve, but I feel like they're there. They're ready for an audience. And the thing was, he was like, how long do you take to work on your videos? And I was like, about 8 hours. He said, well, you should put 8 hours a week into marketing and making marketing materials and get those out into the public too. He said that's your next step. Spend as much time marketing as you are like producing. So that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, well, I was blown away by them. I love playing the intro. We have a couple more that we're going to show today. But before we get too far along, I wanted to officially welcome you back to the Saturday Live Show, your second appearance.
Thank you, sir. I'm glad to be here. And I always like talking to you, man. Like I've always told you, I'd talk to you off stream. I mean, we have a couple of times, but like we get along, and anybody I get along with and I like them, I could talk to you for 6 hours, man. We could be in a bar for 6 hours.
I feel like that's so true because usually the practice sessions I have run about 5 to 10 minutes. We check the audio, have a little chit chat. This is what we'll talk about. But you and I like went over half an hour. I'm like, man, we should probably cut this off. Like we could talk about this on the live show.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm a talker, man.
Yeah, no, that's great. Makes my job easy. So I think what we should probably do before we get too far along in the conversation is for those people that might not be familiar with you and your channel, why don't you kind of tell us where you're living today, what your channel is kind of about?
I'm living today in Lexington, Kentucky. That's where I've been living since like 9th grade. We're talking 20 some years here. So I love Lexington. I like the size of it and everything. It's under 500,000 people. So it's a city, but it's a smaller city. It's still got some of that down home feel and charm to it. With the channel, man, I've got, I don't know how many videos I've got left, maybe 6, 7. And my first, like the way I'm considering it's like seasons. I've chopped it up into seasons, and it'll be like my first season. And then I won't have any time off because I'm gonna do some compilation videos I've got so much footage. Like you said, you've got a 5 terabyte. I got a 5 terabyte hard drive full. It's got like 4.5 terabytes of video on it from Beauty and the East. So I've got a lot of stuff I can go back over and do like the top 10 best things to do in Bangkok and stuff. Like I've got videos forever, but my plans are to come back to Thailand for maybe 2 months sometime soon, the next 3 or 4 months if I can. And I've got a better plan of attack for making videos than I had when I left Thailand and made all these videos. So I should be able to produce even more content. And while I'm over there, I might try to go to like 2 videos a week. I don't know yet. It's pretty tough, man, because I spend about 6 to 8 hours on each video when it comes to editing it, fine tuning it, adding music, adding graphics, all that. I take about 6 hours as a minimum. I could probably get it down to 4, but you know, that's kind of my plans though. I want to come back and produce another season over there, and then I'll come back home for another like 3 or 4 months, and then Ploy should be able to come to America by then, and then we'll do like a complete season in America. Like that'll start out in the popular things that you can see in Kentucky, and then we'll kind of branch out. Hell, who knows? Maybe the Grand Canyon or Florida, or you know, whatever we can go see.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. You might have noticed like this. So I titled the live show today, 2 peas in a pod.
In a pod. Yeah.
Because I feel like, you know, all the conversations you and I have had about Ploy, I feel like you guys just clicked.
Man, we did. We clicked like right off the bat. Like when we the first night that, well, I won't say that. She was a little hesitant about me the first night. A little bit. She told me later, I didn't realize it, but she was a little bit hesitant about me. Because I'm kind of boisterous and a little bit loud and stuff like that. And she's pretty traditional, so she's a little bit hesitant about that. But by the second to third date we had, I think she was. We clicked pretty hard. Like a lot of her stuff's very similar. She even took schooling for the same thing I did. She's a marketing major. I'm a marketing major. She was really like, I was kind of feeding her this idea of doing videos and stuff, and she was like, "That's cool. That's awesome." And, you know, we clicked on that too, and it just took off from there, man. We really, really get along. I mean, we've had like a mild argument in 2 years, like a mild argument. Like we don't really fight much. And she gets a little mad sometimes about just telling her, look, we're cool. That's nothing, you know, whatever. But, you know how Thai ladies are. They get mad for 5 minutes and they're happy again. Yeah. As long as you're not a dick, you know what I mean? People think that, I'm sorry, that's the D word. As long as you're not bad. You know, they'll be back happy with you.
Now, I think I agree with that, because my feeling is that Thai ladies do not hold a grudge. Like they get pissed and then they're over it within 5 to 10 minutes. Yeah. You won't hear about it the next day. At least that's been my experience. I know there's probably outliers, but I just love that. I love that. It's so awesome.
Mine too. Well, that's the way I am too, man. If I'm upset about something and I address it, it's over with after that. You know what I mean? As long as that doesn't come up again, whatever upset me, then, you know, that's water under the bridge. I think everybody should live like that, man. Like, you know, you got to forgive and forget, or you're going to have problems later on down the road over the same stuff that you did 3 years ago. It just don't make sense.
Yeah. So what's been your experience with the food in Thailand? Are you a Thai food guy? Do you like eating all different kinds of foods?
I'm kind of an odd eater anyways. Like I don't like onions and I don't like raw tomatoes and stuff like that. So there's some of the stuff that I don't like in Thailand, but I actually like a lot of their food. I like a lot of Thai food. There's plenty of dishes that I can order over there that I absolutely enjoy and love. Some of them I even miss when I'm in America, because our Thai restaurants around here it's never as good as stuff I can just get around the street in Thailand. So I like a lot of Thai food. I was surprised by that too, because I don't like Chinese food. I'm not a Chinese food eater. There's very few things I eat in Chinese. And like looking at the plates, I was like, hey, Thailand food looks just like Chinese food. I'm gonna be eating McDonald's the whole time I'm over here, I guess. But I actually really, really enjoy their food, because I'm the type of person, I'll try anything. But if I don't like it, I don't like it. So I've tried a lot of Thai dishes. And some of them I've really, really enjoyed. And some of them I've been like, I'm not a big squid fan. I don't like squid at all. So all those dishes, I'm like, I'll pick around the squid.
The reason I mentioned that is, you know, you forwarded that cool video clip of you and Ploy going to the floating market.
Yeah.
One of the things he said initially was like, she said this was a floating market, but I don't see any boats.
Yeah. I think a lot of that had to do with the down season. Like there just wasn't as many. And maybe I'm wrong, because mostly a lot of the floating markets have turned into like just regular markets right now by the water anyway. So maybe it's just that. But it could have been because it was more dead in Thailand and they weren't getting as much business. But yeah, it took us a while to see a boat at the floating market. And I was like, what? Yeah. Floating market. All I see is like vendors at stands. So yeah.
Well, I want to talk to you a little bit about that, because I know you tried some different types of food at the floating market, but I thought what we would do is, before we chat about it, let's go and show a little clip from your experience there at the floating market, and we'll talk about it.
All right.
Let's do it.
Guys, I don't even think this market's got any boats. I think Ploy lied to us. This ain't no floating market. Let's find out what's the surprise inside mine. It's probably a nice juicy shit.
That
What's
milk.
the outside?
The best
really good.
Yeah, the best.
I'm not a fan.
I don't know why I laugh when I watch that. You're like, I'm not a fan.
I cut out that just completely for comedic effect, and I was afraid at first that Ploy was gonna be like, I hate this video because all the close-ups and the way I cut it, but she loved it. So I love that's probably my favorite advertisement I've ever made for a channel, man.
Yeah, and you tried a lot of different kinds of foods there, right? So you had probably, it looks like you had some steak, some pork.
Yeah, we went in specifically with the intent of trying stuff that we both hadn't tried before. Like, we didn't want to try stuff that, I mean, I've seen plenty of stuff there that I'd love to have eaten, like ribs and pork chops and stuff. I was like, those look delicious, but we just like to me, the weirder snacks. To her, it may have been just kind of like typical Thai stuff, but she hadn't tried a lot of the stuff that she tried, and it was fun, man. It was fun trying different stuff, man. Sometimes I worry about my stomach in those situations, but I was fine afterwards. Like, it didn't do me too bad. And there was a few of those little snacks that I wouldn't mind having again. Like I said, I didn't like squid, but there was one of those cooked squids on a stick that was the best stuff that I'd ate the whole time. And it was just like, it was real tough. It was almost like a beef jerky or something, the way they cooked it. But like flavor wise, it was delicious. Like the seasonings and stuff they put on, it was very good. I would buy a whole bag of those.
So what's it like? Because one thing I have not experienced yet is recording videos with a significant other or with guests around you. Is Ploy okay? Did she kind of warm up to that? Was she okay with it initially? What was that like with you filming and doing the YouTube stuff?
At first, and you can see this just from going back to our old videos, she was a little bit quieter on the videos and stuff. But after a while, I haven't really asked her directly about this, but just by her actions and the way she acts around the camera, I think she's about like me. And besides remembering, which I forget sometimes, to point at the correct thing and not take the camera away quick enough, it's almost like the camera's not there. We're pretty natural, like carrying the camera around. Like, there's sometimes I have to tell her, she'll like start to spout something off. I'm like, stop, hold the thought, and then I'll get the camera back on and I'll say, like, go again. So there is some of that, but yeah, I try to get
funny.
the best
I find like it's tough. I don't know if you experience this when you're recording videos. I have a vision in my head what it's going to look like in post. So I'm just looking for the raw material. Too much is better than not enough, right? You go back into post, you're like, oh, damn, I wish that scene was just a little bit longer. And the funny thing that happened to me is when I was recording the final episode of Resharp Returns, I had a scene where I went to the airport. I actually took my mom with me. She was helping me out. And we went through one of the rotating doors to go outside because I had a scene I had in my mind talking about it like a recurring dream. I feel like I'm going in circles every time I have this dream. Right. So I wanted to go around the door a couple times. And what happened is it actually locked on me. I got stuck in that door and I couldn't get out.
That's great.
I thought it was weird because I had a camera there with my mom with me and the door stopped. And I was actually stuck in this thing for like a couple minutes. We had to figure out how to get out. But yeah.
We're glad they saved him, chat. We're glad they saved him. We're glad.
Let me go to the chat here.
He could have still been in that turnstile.
Exactly. Let me get caught up here on some comments because I know we had a couple people coming in here. If you're seeing anything you want to address as I kind of get, let's see.
Hi, commenters.
Subscribe.
Follow my channel. I need more. I need more subs, guys.
Yeah, you'll get there. We just need you to find your audience. I feel like you're speaking of what we were talking about with Chocolate Man in Thailand was he had a great foundation. I feel like you have the same thing going with your promos. The look and feel of the channel is outstanding, man.
Yeah. The problem I've had with growing my channel that I feel like a lot of people have is a lot of people have like real close-knit family and friends that like kind of help them get that first start by sharing their content and stuff like that. And me and my family's kind of estranged outside my immediate family. Like they're people that I don't like, if that makes sense, of their family, but I don't particularly like them. And I've never had that. And I've got like 4 lifelong friends and that's all I need. You know what I mean? I've got other friends that are close, but they're the tight knit is just very, very small. And I just didn't have that. So I've had to grow like completely off strangers. Mostly.
Yeah. Well, same with me. I mean, I kind of got disowned by some family members when I started going to Thailand. So it kind of sucked. Thailand has that stigma and it's
it has a bad stigma. I even talked to Julian about that stigma. I said, I hate that it has that because it's such a beautiful place to visit for other reasons.
Yeah. And you and Julian are pretty tight. So you guys are in Bangkok,
a friend.
right?
Julian's a friend. Yeah, absolutely.
Are you guys going to do any additional collaboration? Because I know he did an interview of you on his channel.
He's got 2 interviews of me, and I think I've got 2 interviews of him, if I'm not mistaken. I know I do. And then I've got another video that features him a little bit, where we go to a night market one night that's coming out later, me and him.
Yeah.
It's probably not going to be a very, very long video. It's going to be one of my little 6-minute videos, but you know.
Now, have you traveled anywhere outside of Thailand around Southeast Asia? Have you gone like Vietnam or Cambodia?
I've been barely into Laos, however you say it. But no, I need to go to more. That's in the plans in the future too. I don't know where that lays in the future. That traveling's all money wise. So like when I have the money, like definitely, like I want to travel the rest of my life. That's my goal is to travel. Well, maybe not the rest, as long as I can travel, as long as I can like physically climb up the sides of mountains and stuff, then no, I want to be traveling.
So funny, stuck in Florida. I had to smile at this. He says, let's face it, if we got to choose our family, there would be some that would be left out.
Absolutely. Absolutely left behind.
That is so awesome. So what's the sub count on? Are you currently like at 600? Is that where you're at today?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm at like 390.
I thought you were just under 6. Are you sure about that?
Yeah, I'm sure about that. I watch my subs.
We got a comment here. Teamwork 400. Maybe you've got it over 400 now. Maybe, who knows? But I like the channel because there's so much great content there. I feel like there's something for everyone. And you you have this self-deprecating humor. You know, you're not.
I've always kind of poked fun at myself. I feel like if you can't poke fun at yourself, that's the type of person that ends up getting mad when somebody else says something to them. And I'm a pretty calm person. I can walk away from almost anything. And I think that's a lot of the reason why, because I make fun of myself. I mean, we all got funny things about ourselves that, you know, we can point out there. I got several embarrassing stories that other people tell me that they would never tell if it happened to them, but I tell it anyway because people get a good laugh out of it, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah. And I feel like, so the promos, tell me more about that. So what do you plan to use the promos for? Are you going to cross market on other platforms? What's your plans there?
So far, basically, all I'm doing is spamming them out on social medias and tagging them up with relevant tags and stuff like that. There may be a point I have done some Facebook advertising and some YouTube advertising. There may be a point where I like advertise them, like see on YouTube, you can go in and like specifically, like I could go into YouTube and I could target my ads just to show up on Richard Travels.
Yeah.
So I might just go out, like I asked somebody if it'd be cringy if I did it, but I might just go out and promote my videos on YouTube and use like some of those type of videos where it's just a little 20-second video.
Yeah.
And promote it to all the big Thai streamers, you know, the Thai vloggers channels, so that it would come up like maybe in CB Medias or maybe in Chocolate Man's, or, you know, when their videos play at the first, like the ad that comes up may be my 20-second clip or something. I've thought about it. It's not super expensive to do a little bit of that to test the market. A lot of those things, you got to do it over and over again though, and like get the people that watched advertise to them again to get them to sub and stuff like that. So I don't know how far down that rabbit hole I'll go, but you know, $40-$60 maybe.
Yeah. I mean, because that's something that Google offers, right? So you can invest in your channel through Google AdWords, place ads on videos. Yeah. That's something I haven't been shy about saying. I do that a lot. If I have a video that I want to perform, I feel like what you're doing is you're investing in yourself, because if you really, like, to your point, if you're spending 8 hours, which is actually pretty conservative, man. Like I spend more. I mean, that's a rabbit hole you can go down, right? With that. But if you put so much time into it, I feel like it's a good quality video. I just need to find the audience, and Google will help you with that. They'll place an ad, you know, that then gets posted on YouTube. You attract a larger audience. And I think it's a quicker way to get subs and views.
Yeah, that's what I've been thinking about going about it. Because see, my main goal, I don't think any of us that's doing Thai vlogging is thinking that we're gonna get rich from it. But I do think I could build it up to the point where I get like $300 a month for it. You know what I mean? I feel like I can completely build it up to that point, and that's a lot to go toward traveling and living in some of these countries. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm looking for, is as much residual income as I can get built up so I can travel more.
Yeah, and that's one thing I've gotten from you in our conversations in the past, is you really seem like a hustler, man. Like you're not afraid to get after it, like work hard. So you're all about trying to find those additional streams of revenue, right? To get you back to Thailand.
Yeah, I am. I make a killing, man, just selling tennis shoes and going to Goodwills and picking up stuff that people's putting Goodwill for $4 or $5 and turning around selling it for $80 or $90 on eBay because it's worth a whole lot more than what people realize it's worth. Like just the other day, I bought like 4 toner cartridges for printers, and those suckers went for $60 a piece. I got them for $2.99 for 4 of them. So I made I priced it for $200 for all 4 of them, and sold them in like 2 days. So like stuff like that, I'm always hustling. I'm always thinking something that try to do something. And I play some games sometimes, guys. I do play some video games sometimes, and those are a complete waste of time. But I enjoy, like, it's kind of like I don't watch a lot of TV or movies or stuff like that. So it's kind of that time for me. So I do that sometimes. But most of the time I'm sitting here like, how can I make my videos better? How can I make my content better? How can I make money or something along those lines? I'm usually trying to work to invest in my own future. So yeah, I try to hustle.
Now, I think one of the things we've talked about a couple times on our pre-interviews is around your music background, and I purposely not double-clicked into that when we've talked because I always wanted to bring it up on the live show. But I think some people will be surprised to hear about your experience and history in music. You talked about traveling up and down the East Coast.
Yeah, I made music. Well, I played with it when I was younger. Like I was a big fan of like Tupac and Biggie and all that in the 90s, and I would go to little shelters and drink 40s with some of my buddies, and they'd always freestyle around me and stuff. And I'd be the only one that couldn't freestyle. I was the only white guy with them, but I was the only one that wouldn't freestyle because I didn't know how. So they kept doing it so much that I was like, I'm going to figure out some lyrics and spit back to them. And it started from that. And it ended up being me and my brother, man. We ended up putting out, we put out one professionally studio mixed album with like 8 producers on it. But we put out 3 albums total. We toured all of them down the East Coast, man, all the way down south to Louisiana, all the way north to New York. We did like 180 shows our last year performing, and we performed with in the hip hop scene like mid-level to mid-level high guys, like a bunch of them. We performed with Cypress Hill.
Wow.
We performed with all the Funk Volume crew, which is I don't know if you know any of these names, like Hobson and Jeremy Benton and all them from them. I'm trying to think of any other bigger names. A lot of the old, I don't know if you know No Limit. We performed with Mystical from No Limit. Just a bunch of the mid-level people that we opened up for them, and then we had our own shows that we promoted to in some cities because we was going through anyway, so we'd find another place that let us do a show, and we had a lot of fun. It's some of the funnest time in my life, man, was doing music. Some of the funnest times in my life, man, is just meeting people and travel. That's probably the real reason it sparked my travel bug.
Why'd you get out of that?
Music. You just kind of get too old for it, and it was a whole lot more money going in than coming out, if that makes sense. Like we would be going to say Akron, Ohio for a show, and we would spend $150, $200, and we'd make 75 or 100. So the money was going the wrong way, basically, is the whole reason.
Wow. Do you miss it?
Somewhat, but I wouldn't say like I like it. I like doing YouTube more than music, probably. I like the process and stuff like that. I really enjoy the traveling and making content out of it.
Yeah, have you done that type of thing in the past? Have you created other videos like off YouTube before?
No. I did live streaming on Twitch where I was like in front of a live audience, and I never built that up super big. I think at current time I got like 20,000 followers, and my streams at max have like 60 people in them. But I had a little bit of live streaming background from that. I did that for 2 years.
That sounds like a lot, though. 20,000 followers sounds like a lot to me.
Yeah, again, it's one of those things that I was putting so much time into it that it almost had to be worth something back to me. It was becoming more than a hobby. And once something becomes more than a hobby, I look at how to monetize it, because it takes up so much of my time. Because the way I look at it, an hour of my time, to be honest with you, and there's a lot of people probably that's worth more than this. An hour of my time is usually worth about $30, because that's what I can make if I'm doing something else, or sometimes more than that. But yeah, I value my time about $30 an hour. So if I'm putting 30 hours a week into something, you know what I mean? I kind of like, I could be doing something else for 30 hours and making X amount
Now,
of
what
money.
were you talking
so.
about on Twitch? Were you doing like a live stream?
I was doing
gaming
game
stuff?
content. It was game content. I play video games and just talk to people and get to know people and make fun of stuff. And we talk politics and everything. Like we go through the whole gambit of
Now, not to put you on the
conversations.
spot, but I know when you and I talked last time, you had that cool red microphone. Is that still
Yeah.
nearby? You want to show that?
Yeah, that's
That
what
thing
I'm
is
talking
awesome,
on. It's
man.
it's just a HyperX. I really like HyperX. I got HyperX headphones too.
Yeah, that thing is
But it's
sweet.
just a HyperX mic, and I think it comes out pretty clean. And
And you got the
I
shock
bought
mount
this
on
for
that,
game
right?
casting. Yeah, it comes with it. It's built in. It's just a.
I feel like that's a good
single
value.
mic.
I
Yeah,
did
there's
some
better
research on
mics,
mic.
but as far as USB mics, it's a really good USB mic.
Yeah. And you're talking about, so that would refer to a microphone that you can just plug and play. You don't
Plug
have
and
to
play,
plug
yeah.
into a mixer, right? Because
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
times you start getting next level, you have to use a mixer, and then
Yeah.
it's a little bit more involved.
Which
right?
is always going to be better than any of these mics. Like the cheap versions of the mixer mics are better than these because they just pick up so much of your cadence, and they're usually like directed too, so don't pick up a lot of interference. They're always going to be better. Like you can buy $100 that type of mic that's going to be better than this one by 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
I know my
J was saying-
microphones.
Tommy J was saying you have the voice of a country singer. Do you like country music at all?
I'm not a huge fan of country music, but there's a lot of gems in country music. There is like I could probably pick out 50 songs that I listen to in country, but I like real lyrical songs. Like I like a good story and stuff like that. It's kind of like the way I like my music, or if it just sounds, then I like something just smooth and laid back. Like if it's something like jazz or reggae or something like that, I like it to be that chill type vibe to it. But yeah, it's country I'm not a huge fan of. I think what it was, my parents are huge country fans, so whatever your parents like, you automatically aren't gonna like.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of it. And a lot of it's, I lost my dog, wife, and kids, and I'm paying alimony. And I'm like, this makes me sad. So
yeah,
I usually like more cheerful like laid back, cheerful stuff. Like think some Sublime, or something like that. I like the laid back, cheerful stuff. Listen to a lot of reggae, a lot of older hip hop, a lot of rock music. I've been to a lot of rock concerts.
Yeah,
I love rock, heavy metal. Everything up to about when they start screaming too much, then I'm kind of out on the heavy metal. But like old Metallica and stuff like that. I've always been a big music person. I like music all over the place. I like classical to rap.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then kind of switching gears, kind of going back, we talked a little bit about the video editing. You don't really have any experience doing that. You started the channel; it was new to you. Is that kind of a true statement? Like you didn't, so you had to kind of train yourself on video editing?
I've watched YouTube videos and just used like self-experience. My first video was the first thing I'd ever point a camera at and recorded and put it out there. Like I never had like clip videos. I never clipped videos when I was doing Twitch even. Like I just never had did anything with video, man. So it's self-taught, YouTube and just grinding and making a bunch of mistakes, man. I still make mistakes when I'm filming, so Yeah,
for sure. I think sometimes when I look back on my previous videos, I'll look at them like, oh man, if I could just redo that, I would change this little part because I screwed up the transition. It's like, damn it. But you can't make it perfect, you know?
My most recent video I was looking at, I was like, oh, I wish I hadn't done this way. I wish I'd cut it sooner or something like that. But if we got too perfectionist, we'd never put out a video. That's the thing. There's got to be a point where we say, okay, I'm done. I'm pushing it out. So that I try to make every video better, and I work as hard as I can on every video. But there's a point where I just say, okay, I'm done. I'm done with the video. It's done. And
it's so funny because when I did part 2 of the Richard Returns to Thailand series, I had just switched over to using a laptop and a new software program for the editing, and I was struggling with it, right? And there was a part in that where I had the narration come in, and the music is way too low. You can barely hear it. It's really shitty. And so I was mentioning that to my mom. I was kind of commiserating, and she's like, no one can really notice that. It's not a big deal, Yeah. And then literally the next day, there was a comment saying, Richard, why is the music so low in that part of the video? I was like, damn it.
Nobody notices. Yeah.
This guy noticed. Damn it.
I don't worry about people being critical online at all, man. Like I'll take the constructive criticism. Like if somebody actually like makes a good point I definitely take that. But if somebody's just being negative or whatever, you take it how you take it.
Yeah.
That's the way
Well,
I
I
see
thought it
it.
was interesting because, you're mentioning no real video editing experience. You're self-taught, watch a lot of
Yeah.
videos to get competent on it. But I feel like you're doing some next level stuff that I only see from very experienced YouTube creators. And what I'm referring to is that promo we showed in the very beginning, where it's the drone footage. I'm assuming it was drone footage
Yeah.
that then spins out into a 360, like the globe look.
Yeah.
And I don't want to give away any secrets. So if you don't want to answer
Yeah.
that, it's okay. But I was just wondering, is that a drone shot or is that an Insta 360 shot? How did you create that?
All it is, man, spend $400 on a DJI Mavic. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
It's built right into it, man. You press one button, it goes up, does it, and it renders the video out for you. It's that
That
simple.
is awesome.
It's that simple. And there's better versions of it. But I'm a big tech person anyways. I like new tech. Like, I'm pretty humble on most things. I don't buy expensive clothes. I don't have to have a brand new car that's shiny. And I'm pretty humble on most things. But when it comes to tech, I spend a little bit of money on tech. And I had the DJI before I ever even thought about doing a YouTube channel. It was just part of my arsenal of electronics I had. And I was like, this will go good in a YouTube video, when I thought about making them. So I try to put them up when I can. Thailand's kind of funny with drones. They'll find you and you'll get in trouble. You're not really allowed to fly one anywhere without like their equivalent of FAA approval.
Yeah.
But if you're out in the country or the beach or something, nobody says nothing. But Bangkok, maybe.
So I don't know if you know this person, but one thing I know about you, Chris, is you're very humble with a lot of things you talk about. So I wanted to kind of double click into the game players. It seems like Chris has been one of the top 10 or 20 fastest game players, something he told me. Is that?
I think that's Ploy there. That may be Ploy talking to you. I was top 5 in the world for Resident Evil 7 speedruns. I made it the top 5 in the world. And I probably could have made it farther up, but I just quit playing the game. I've been playing the game constantly for like 6 months, and I was running through the game like 1 or 2, maybe 3 times a day sometimes, because I could finish in like an hour and 5 or 8 minutes or something like that. So I just ran through it constantly, timing myself on it a little bit. That's where I built up my most followers. People was watching me try to beat those records.
So you're so humble, man. I would have led with that if I was you. Like, I was on Twitch, 20,000 followers because I was like top 5.
What is it really, though? I mean, what kind of accomplishment is that in the grand scheme of life? Like, I'm much more proud of some of the beautiful places I've seen than that. Like being able to stand over the edge of a mountain and see a beautiful view below, like in real life. And some of the views that I've seen made me feel like I was in the Matrix. I didn't even really feel like it was real. Looking at it, I think that's much more impressive than music or the video gaming or anything like that. I think, video games is just something for fun, but that's I don't know, man. I see how short life is. I think I want to take in as many beautiful views as I can. As many beautiful views as possible in life.
Do you think traveling to Thailand kind of rewired your brain a little bit? Like, I want to have.
I think it was rewired before.
Yeah,
I think it was a little bit rewired before. My accident's probably the thing that rewired my brain the most. That really made me go, "Wow, man, we're really fragile. We can really be taken out just like that." And you better enjoy it today. I think that's what rewired me the most was my accident, though. That's a really tough time for me. So.
Did you want to talk about that a little bit? I don't want to get too personal. I want to respect your boundaries there.
I mean, I don't really care to talk about any of it. Basically,
a little bit of a setback that kind of was a challenge for you, and it gave you a different perspective on life, right? So
it really did. Basically, I was at work and I had a fall, and it wasn't even that high of a fall on the concrete floor. And when I hit, I couldn't get back up, so I had to be took out on a gurney and all that stuff. And they took me to the first hospital and told me there's nothing wrong with me. They told me I'd bruised my hip at the emergency room and sent me back home. And I was dragging one leg the rest of the weekend, and I couldn't get out of bed and all kinds of stuff. And so I went the Monday morning to an orthopedic place, and turns out I shattered my hip and broke my back in the fall. And I had to have 2 hip surgeries. The first one, they tried to put screws into my hip, to put it back together. And the screws started coming out. It was just so shattered. So I went back to them. They said, we can try to repair it again. It'll probably fail again, or you can just get it removed and put a fake hip in. So I went with that, just not to have to do another surgery. And I had a back surgery during that time, which was a 10-hour back surgery. And the hip was not that bad of a surgery. It was the first surgery I had, and I was back up and walking and everything real quick. The back surgery, on the other hand, like I was up and walking the first day after the back surgery because I just had to. They told me it's very important to get up out of bed, and it took me like 8 or 9 hours to force myself out of the bed and actually get up. But it was a very slow, arduous process back to where I am now. It took about maybe a little bit over a year. I went from the wheelchair at first to a walker to a cane, or no, I went from the walker to crutches to a cane to walking on my own. And it was a long process, and it's I still deal with pain from it that I have to push through every day. And that whole thing just made me open my eyes. I mean, I could have just as easily fell and hit my head and my brains bled out on the floor or anything like that. So the whole process, I could have been crippled, made me see a new appreciation for a lot of the little things that people think aren't important, that I think probably make up the basis of when you're on your deathbed and you're thinking about your life. They'd say your life passes before your head, eyes, or you reminisce about your life, like whether you smile or cry. I think a lot of the little things are the things that'll make us smile. So it kind of opened my eyes to that. Like what you do in life's a whole lot more important than how much money you make or how many friends you have or any of that other stuff.
Yeah, and I feel like first of all, that's a tremendously inspiring story. It's like it just talks about your grit that you have in your life and getting back on things and surviving now what is probably a tough flight for you, a long haul flight to Thailand. That's no easy flight going from where you are.
It's not an easy flight for anybody, I don't believe, man. 26 hours or at least 24 every time, 24 to 26 hours. Just constant airplanes. Yeah, it's rough. It's a rough haul, man.
It's so funny because for so many years, like I held the long haul flight like on a pedestal. Like that's something I would never be able to do because I'd never done it before. So people out here that would fly to Australia, I would always ask them like, wow, what was it like? How'd you do it? And then the first time I did a long haul flight from San Francisco to the Philippines and then on to Bangkok, it was like a 15-hour flight. I remember texting, like posting on social media because I had the Wi-Fi going on the flight, like making a big deal out of it. And then once you've done it a couple times, it's not a big deal anymore.
Yeah.
But it's so funny when you've not done something like that, you hold it like it's this huge accomplishment when it's really just another flight. And there's things you can do to make it more, palatable, right? Like butt cushions.
I take sleeping aids because I can't sleep on a moving transportation, trains, buses, planes, anything. I can't sleep naturally on them. So I take a couple of the last trip I finally did anyway, back home to America. I took 2 sleeping pills on the long flight because I got 3. So the 6-hour flight to Japan, I did just, I just stayed up. But the second flight, the one's 15 or 16 hours, I took a couple of sleeping pills. I was on the window seat, drank a glass of wine. I clocked out like for 7 or 8 hours, something like that. So when I got up, I watched a couple of movies and I was back home.
Yeah, it's so funny because after when I was doing a couple flights, like I got a prescription of sleeping pills from my doctor. I told her like, listen, I'm doing these long haul flights. It'd be a lot easier if I had to. She said, no problem. And I only took them for the flights. And it was funny because when they would announce like, hey, we're going to be taking off now, start taxiing, I would take a sleeping pill and I had it timed down perfect, Chris. Like when wheels would come up, I'd be like dozing off, literally wake up like at the destination. Right. But that came back to bite me one time because we were taxiing out, took my sleeping pill and they said, we're going to have to pull over. We got a delay here. And literally I'm like drooling on myself. And we haven't even taken off yet. It was the worst experience of my life.
Man.
So I learned from that don't take the sleeping pill until you're actually in the air.
Yeah, I took mine in the air. I didn't even think of it like that, but I did take it in the air. We was already like I got up to where the leveling altitude. What it was, I waited on a glass of wine, is what it was. But I didn't have that issue. I was just gone. This is the first time I've took sleeping pills for a flight, and it helped me a lot because, like I said, usually I'm up the whole 26 hours in Thailand. So
yeah,
it sucks.
Well, Mr. Mitch is saying you have a great outlook on life. I do find that to be a very inspiring story. I really appreciate you sharing that with us. I know it's kind of getting a little personal there, but I think that's awesome. And then, so tell me about when you go to Thailand, are you spending most of your time in Bangkok? Is that kind of your hub?
Yeah, it has been, and that's simply because Ploy works in Bangkok. Like, if we could find a better situation, I would much rather my hub be like somewhere on the beach that's not like Pattaya or not one of the popular places. I'd like to be on the, we got a beach, but it ain't the most beautiful beach in Thailand. I would like it to be somewhere like that. It'd probably be cheaper, is the thing about it as well. But I would rather my hub be on the beach. I ain't gonna lie. Like I watched the Thai vloggers who are out of like Pattaya or I watched another one's out of Fifi Islands and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, I would love to have their home base. It's so nice. And you can get video any day. You can go out and say, look at my sunset. I can't do that in Bangkok. Look at her smog.
Yeah, I think you're going to have to branch out just because I think you have a very recognizable face. And I feel like as your sub count grows, it's going to be like, hey, Beauty in the East. Hey, Beauty in the East. It might get a little annoying to you after a while.
No, that would never, man. I love meeting new people.
Yeah?
I love meeting new people. Love it.
I think
as long as they don't try to get me to
celebrity.
drink a lot. I don't drink much anymore. Like I'll drink a little bit socially, but I'm not a big drinker. As long as they don't try to get me to drink all the time, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. We can cut that out of the video. Hold on, I'm making an intro. We can work with it.
Mr. Mitch says, as soon as the seatbelt sign goes off, I'm pacing at the back of the plane. I skip the meals, hydrate, and sit when they tell me to.
I wish, man. I feel bad about getting up and standing around too long.
Now, are you a window seat guy or an aisle guy? You said you've done the window before.
If I'm going to sleep, I'm a window seat guy. If I'm going to stay awake, I'm an aisle guy because, I want to be able to get up and go to the bathroom and stuff like that. So it just depends. It just depends on what the plane is. For the long flight, I'm an aisle guy. Or a window guy. Window guy. Flight. Yeah, from now on.
For me, I just like to be able to get up when I can, so I prefer the aisle. And I hydrate a lot. Like I started suffering from some altitude sickness after a couple of years because people don't realize, like, even though the cabins are pressurized, they're pressurized for about the equivalent of 7,000 to 10,000 feet. So if you're sensitive, you can go through a little bit of this, what they call altitude sickness. And so to combat that, I hydrate a lot. So I got to use that toilet a lot. And if you're on the window, people are getting pissed. Like, again, really? It's like, oh God, I'm drinking like a gallon of water here, man. I don't have any issues with flying except ever since I broke my hip, for some reason, my ankles swell, especially if I'm real active or it's real hot in Thailand, basically. But they swell sometimes on the plane. But besides that, like the only thing is I don't like flying. Like I feel like I'm trapped. Like I'm the type of person, like I get kind of anxious anyway. I've got a little bit of anxiety anyway. So like the way I deal with it, if I'm in a house or something and I feel anxious, I walk out and get some fresh air. Well, you can't do that on an airplane. So it even makes me a little bit more anxious because I know I can't do that. So that's the problem I have with airplanes. I don't like them at all. But I fly, like I want to see the pretty places. So I eat that pill to get the meal, Yeah. Well, Teacher Thomas Thailand is saying that he was thinking Rayong would be a perfect place for an old boy from Kentucky.
I've been to Rayong. I've been to a beach in Rayong, and it was beautiful. I don't remember the name of the beach. I just remember they have a dolphin statue in the center up front. It's got a bunch of rocks at one point. I like Rayong, and I don't know. It's always a place. Like I said, we have to figure out like. I plan on moving to Thailand forever at some point, but that's several years off. That would be something I'd look at that point, even as a home base. But again, like as long as me and Ploy are both working and she has to work in Bangkok, or she may be working in the United States in 7 or 8 months, but still, as long as we're working, we got to figure out how we do stuff like it. Like if we come back and do a Thailand video, then we would probably find a new home base. But at some point, we're going to do like Vietnam, Laos. Like I don't know how many more Thailand trips are in me because I'm gonna have to get. I want to get back to Thailand to do the east side because I've done the whole west side for the most part. I haven't been to Chiang Mai and stuff yet, but I've done most of the west side and the south, and I need to do the east side at some point. But after that, we're going to have to branch out. I could get content from Thailand forever, but why when there's other places to see? So at some point we're going to do the other places.
Ploy's pretty smart. She's taken Teacher Thomas Thailand's bait because she knows is that Pala Beach, and that's where Teacher Thomas's bar is in Pala. Beach.
Yeah. I'm going to get down. I had a chance to go to his bar right when it opened. I didn't know Teacher Thomas at the point. I still don't know him. We've spoke a few times, but Julian had invited me that they were all going down there, and me and Ploy were already in the South doing videos. And at the time, it was during that Get the Videos Haul thing. I felt like it was more important for my channel to stay down there and do the videos than it was to shoot back north. I think it was like 8 hours away at that point just to do that, which I wanted to do that. I was like, man, I think Julian, Teacher Thomas, Esquire in Thailand,
big group
and
there. Johnny, there's something
Johnny,
happening.
there's something happening. All of them showed up, man. So like, I would have loved to have went to that, and it probably would have been good for my channel. But at the time, I was growing content, and I felt like the content was more important at the time. You know what I mean? Like, I needed the content. Like, without the content, it don't matter who I know.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It don't matter if you ain't got the content. So at the time, I felt like that I needed the content more. But at some point, I'm definitely going down and meeting. Teacher Thomas seems like an awesome guy.
Yeah.
Now, the few conversations I've had with him and just from watching his videos and stuff. So I definitely want to meet him at some point, hang out with him, have a few drinks at his bar.
Yeah, he's a great dude. I'm sure he'd appreciate that. We're all going to make a beeline for his bar. So
things get opened up. I think that's probably going to be, as long as he's got that bar, that'll probably be the Thai vlogger meetup. I think he probably knows that by now too. There's been several of them there, but I think that's probably it's a good central type place from where most people stay. I mean, you got the east side beaches, which is Pattaya and stuff, and then you got the people who stay on the west side beaches and Bangkok. I mean, his place kind of centers up there pretty good. So that's I think it's great. So we're kind of coming to the end of our time here. It flies by. But I feel like we had more stuff to talk about this time than last time. I feel like kind of got absolutely.
I was going to ask you, so this is like our cue to play the last video of the day. My last question is always what's next, and you did a great job of like, I got a video clip that talks about that. So I just want to we'll end with that, but I want to say thank you for coming on the live show again. It's a pleasure having you, man. I want your channel to grow like crazy, so please go to his channel, subscribe, check it out. He's got some great videos there. But thanks very much, Chris. I really appreciate your time today.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me. I'm gonna just keep doing the same thing, man. I'm gonna keep making the best videos I can possibly make, and the people will come as they come. That's that's it. Make good content, you'll find people. Period.
I think it's great because you had a walk-on video. Now you have a walk-out video.
There we go.
So thanks again for coming on the show. We're gonna send you out with another cool video from Beauty and the East.
Next time on Beauty in the East.
Wasn't that great? I don't know how that guy does not have 100K subscribers. The content is outstanding. And, he took, some additional time to create these intro videos that we use today and just talk about up-leveling the whole live show. I really appreciate that. Appreciate his time on the show. What a great channel. Hopefully you guys kind of saw some value out of some of those video clips and you'll be intrigued to kind of go to his channel, maybe consider subscribing. But yeah, thanks for everyone that had the comments here. Got message from Mr. Mitch. Excellent promo. Teacher Thailand. Happy to have you here. Take care. Go watch Chris's channel. Yeah, great live show. Yeah, a lot of great things going on today. I feel like we're trying out some new things. Got a new mic today. Got a new laptop. All kinds of new stuff going on today. So hopefully you guys appreciated what you saw. I did want to kind of go through the schedule. So we got exciting stuff coming on. So next week we have Gilmore Hike coming on. He'll be joining us from Alabama here in America. And then in just a week after that, Foreigner Joe is joining us on January 30th. So for those of you that might not know, I've been on a little bit of weight loss challenge myself, trying to drop some kilos or pounds ahead of the Foreigner Joe live show, because he did a great job of dropping some weight. So I'm out walking around every day, 7 to 10 miles every day. And so really looking to have that conversation with Foreigner Joe on January 30th. And then February 6th, you guys may be familiar with the channel called Le Pub Pattaya. Phil will be joining us from that channel, and that's going to be a great interview as well. So he's going to give us a lay of the land, what's going on in Pattaya. And then on February 13th, a great channel, Haley from the channel Retire in Chiang Mai, will be joining us. So she's an American living in Thailand, and she'll be able to talk us through some of the visas that are available for those of us that want to go back and either retire there or stay, you know, maybe more of a longer term basis. So some great guests coming up, which will be awesome. And that's about it for today, guys. So I'm going to send you out with an awesome outro. So stay tuned. Don't give up. Don't exit out of the live show yet. You'll break my heart if you don't listen to the outro, man. Don't watch this. So I put a lot of time into this. But for those of you in the chat, thank you for coming in and joining the live show today. It was a blast. I think Beauty was a great guest. I will be back next Saturday at the same time. And I'm trying to fill as I find my outro video. There's so many things going on in my StreamYard app. I have to locate everything and find it as I'm talking. So thanks for everyone that joined today. Really appreciate it. Give me a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. We have these live shows every Saturday. I'll be creating a video probably this next week talking about either how to survive long-haul flights or dealing with jet lag. So we're going to kind of ramp up the recorded videos again coming this week now that I have a new computer that can handle these kind of things. So I'll see everyone next week. Enjoy this outro.